Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and today we are doing the Tavern Brawl that is a Super Tavern Brawl. And first word of warning, it's really only for good players, and I'm not particularly a good player. So they had a pop-up here the first time I clicked on it saying specifically, this is a big gamble. If you get 0 wins, you get 1 card pack. But you're gonna spend 1,000 gold or potentially about $10 to play this. So this is like Arena, except for it only costs 150 to play Arena. And the payoff may be great if you get 12 wins, but almost certainly most players are not gonna get 12 wins. I'm probably gonna at best get 1, 2, maybe 3, and that it doesn't scale equally. It scales at a different sharp. When I announced this, I thought it might scale equally, and then it seemed like it might be a good deal, but this isn't. This is straight up going to a casino and gambling at the worst payoff. It's playing roulette or something like that, or Pagao, something with really, really low chances of winning. But I'm going to do it anyways for the views. So, Heroic Brawl is what it's called. We make a standard deck to compete against the best stakes. Stakes are high, the competition intense, more wins means more rewards. Can you make it to 12 wins, or will 3 losses end your run? Now, it is worth pointing out, you have to do quite a bit of quests. It's probably like 3 weeks worth of quests to get up to 1,000, 3-4 weeks maybe, if you're working. So going back and trying a second time is not a smart move either. Let's see. Funds will be deducted from your balance. This is just talking about where the money will go. Here's 1,000 down. Now I'm gonna spend 5,000 also with the new card expansion, so that's only gonna leave me with a couple of thousand afterwards. So if I need to make a standard deck, I'm gonna have to decide what deck particularly would be the best one for me. See if we can make a paladin with murlocs. Let's see. Yes, I think I can do this. So I have had some really good success with murlocs before, so I feel like this one might work pretty well. But that only takes up 18 cards because there's a few non-standard murloc decks, so it's kind of a difficult thing to play. So then I need to consider what else I want. Change all health to 1. Discover minion. Let's see. Things. Silverhand recruits. Consecration. Blessing of the king. True silver champion, definitely. Want that. Let's see. Put that one in there. What else? We've got 3 more cards. Discover 8 cards. Okay. I know a couple of things we need. There is a 5. Let's see. 5 mana character that gives us 5 legendary characters that's allowed in standard play. He would make a good move. Here he is. There we go. That gives us 5 new legendary characters to deal with. And I kind of want this beast in here. Maybe. And I kind of want the guy that explodes and kills everybody. Let's see. Let's see if I can find that guy. He's the opposite of this one. Let's see. He's a 0-7, and I don't remember how much he cost or what his name is. I think his name is Doomsayer, actually, so let's type in Doom. So I have one of those. Let's see, what do I want to get rid of? We'll get rid of this guy. And let's see. I guess we'll go ahead with the owl too. Darn Beak Owl. Take one of those. So that has a mostly Murloc deck with some random legendaries, one guy that increases everything, and some cards that give you some increase, one that does damage to all the enemies, one that's just a weapon, one that kills everybody on the field, but mostly a Murloc deck. So that's as best as I can figure out for this Brawl. Playing against other people just in standard, effectively. I'm not going to any website. I'm not looking at any card stats that say this card is better than this card. I don't know how to do any of this calculation. I'm really the absolute wrong person to even play this. Also, you should in a second start to see my Hearthstone deck tracker application show all of these cards, hopefully, and not just show the cards that are played. But let's begin. You won't be able to edit your deck, so you have to lock it in. That's the same with Arena too, though. So the only difference here is this is effectively an Arena that costs a lot more, and you have to play in standard, versus Arena, which is kind of more of a
Uther versus Gul'dan.
more of a wild
I will
set of cards, but
honor.
also crazy because you can have more than 2. It doesn't look like my Hearthstone deck tracker automatically saved that deck, which is a shame because it's been doing rather well about that lately, automatically saving decks when you build them. So instead of doing what I wanted it to do, which is to have all the cards, it's going to add the cards as they go, and that's going to be a slight issue. So I'm going to try and play. We're going to go the whole way here, so this may be a really long episode,
Get it out!
special
Get it
episode.
out!
But I'm going to try to play here as best as I can. No distractions. Usually my Hearthstone videos that come up on my channel are my blog channel, so I talk about what's happening in the news, even though the news is months late. And usually I'll talk about what's happening in my life, but there's not that much that happens in my life because I'm a YouTuber, video game critic, and all I do is play video games. So in this case, I think I'm going to more just stay silent for the most part and try to really focus, keep my eyes on the cards, not look away, not look at a list of news or topics to talk about. Honestly, this is probably the first time I've actually like completely focused on playing Hearthstone in a long time. I'm not a super fan of Hearthstone, the way it makes you play it every 3 days to do the quests to get the gold. It's how I got up to 8,000 gold and could afford doing this without spending real money, but it's a pain. It is a total pain to always have to come back to a game when I'm trying to play other games. And the win-lose ratio on Hearthstone is designed to be around 50%, even for the best of players who maybe they get slightly more than 50%, but it's nowhere close to single player games where you almost never lose, you almost never die, and that's the style of video games I enjoy playing a lot more.
All realities, all dimensions are open to me.
See, the irony here is I've already lost. Probably have. I've lost the momentum at the very least. So if this guy hits me and gets rid of his divine shield, that would be nice.
This document looks legally binding.
Oh, that's gonna be a shame.
Why do you call?
That didn't help too much. He's not making much progress either. I wouldn't be surprised to find that a significant number of people are just going to play very, very carefully here. Not wanting to mess things up.
Reporting for duty.
So, it's worth pointing out that the order in which cards activate their abilities are in the order that they were played originally. So this card was played, then this card was created by the spell power, then it activated its ability. Didn't help that much, but here we go.
To battle!
I could silence it for a 3.
Reporting for duty.
Done. We got a couple of taunt ones that we can play next turn. But he's got me 23 to 16 here. He's playing his Cthulhu move. He may have Cthulhu already, or Cthulhu, whatever. The real name is Cthulhu. Well, the name in the book is Cthulhu. They changed the card name to Cthulhu. If he has that next turn, theoretically, it's possible that would be done. Let's go and silence this guy. And then this. Then this.
Well played. To battle!
Kill this one with that. Kill this. And then return.
Thank you.
And I lost. So that's strike 1 of 3. There, and don't be surprised. And I'm also doing our weekly quests, which no concern about that. Don't be surprised. Now, constantly I want to just get some free victories in Hearthstone. So you'll try to, I'll hope that the other player will just lose connection or concede or something like that, but it never happens. It used to happen a little bit
Uther versus
every now and then, like a year or two ago.
I will fight with honor.
There, my Hearthstone deck tracker just crashed too. Interesting. It hasn't ever done that one before. So this is a better start for a Murloc deck. Going second, I can play these two on the first play, play this on the second play, play this on the third play. Let's see. This. Often you waste a coin on the first turn. There are better points to play it. And maybe even in this case there are better points to play it. But now he's coming out with a weapon early. Well, he's gonna waste his entire weapon killing my characters. So we do this, it changes this into another Murloc, and we go here. Now the one card that I'm missing here is the legendary Murloc that gets +1 attack for every other Murloc on the field, and he's not apparently allowed in standard. Otherwise I missed him. Let's see, deal 4 damage right now, or let's see, 3. Think that was a good move. Now at 13 to 17, you could get a little bold and say I might win, but frankly,
that belongs in a museum.
I don't think so. I don't think you should make those claims. Every time I've ever done something like that, it's turned out to be a huge mistake. Here we go. Down to 11. Next turn, I could play this and this.
Silvermoon shall not fall.
Let's see. 15 damage needs to be done. And I do 15 damage. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, plus another 4 would be 13 damage. So instead, let's do this and this. Darn it, did not run the numbers properly there. There wasn't enough room since you can only have 7 characters. Well, let's go ahead and play this. And then the turn. I've got to do 4 more damage and he's playing difficult. If he starts building up his armor, that's going to be an issue. Actually, maybe I should just leave this guy alone and let him do 2 damage at the end of each turn. No, because he'll just always get armor. So this, and then this.
Job's done.
And that was a mistake. I should have done this. So, let's try this again. This one. Then this one. Then this one.
Job's done.
End the turn. I still need to get 2 more armor if I can hit him in the face with this 5.
I can wait
If he,
longer.
assuming he armors up. I'm gonna lose. I can't believe it. Actually, I can believe it. This is kind of the problem with Hearthstone. Even if you think you've got a good strategy, you don't. There's too many people looking on websites, too many people playing the best decks possible, the best meta deck there is. There's too many people out there that apparently have a lot more free time than me to play this and get good at it, or in some other way have some trick going on where they know how to win more than me. Maybe also I just suck at this game. It's very possible. It looked like there was no way I wasn't gonna win here. And yet, it does. Let's see. This. And see, I'm going to lose. I have to kill this guy in any attempt to stay alive.
For justice!
And that still kills me. Doing this only helps. Game over. Lost. Where did I go wrong? I must have gone wrong right when I made the deck. This at the beginning must have been my mistake. And that's crazy because my Murok deck is one of my most successful decks, but only in Wild. I didn't try to make one in Standard. This is a great example of Standard just screwing up old strategies and old cards, making them no longer useful. It is also worth mentioning that Hearthstone Deck Tracker doesn't crash that often. It's like, this is probably the first time I've ever seen it crash, so I'll just go ahead and relaunch it. I have a very popular video on my YouTube channel that's about a year and a half old now for how to set up and install Hearthstone Deck Tracker and use it with OBS. And frankly, it has been updated so much that you don't actually need to watch that video. You can almost certainly, unless there's something wrong with your download of it or your installation of it, it should just install and run perfectly by itself. And so that's why I haven't ever bothered to update that video. But obviously some people still have trouble with it because they still watch that.
The legions I command.
That's one of the ironies of my YouTube channel, is my best video is a how-to video, and I'm a video game critic. So, not even the same category. So hopefully you should be able to see it's gonna rebuild that collection, but it's never gonna have the full amount. It didn't save that, which is weird because it does sometimes save it on the Tavern Brawl things. This is my last chance to get a victory, otherwise I've wasted 1,000 gold to get a pack that's only worth 100 gold. So 900 gold just effectively down the toilet. You can get other things including packs. I think you can. I think you could get dust and gold. And that was part of the calculation here, is if it had been a linear response and if you'd gotten 2 or 3 victories of the maximum amount of dust and gold they would said you might win, getting dust actually is a lot more valuable than getting a pack or getting gold. Getting gold in general, unless it's massive amounts of gold, is the least valuable outcome, simply because
Reporting for duty.
100 gold is equivalent to 1 pack, and 1 pack is, depending on your collection of cards, maybe only equivalent to 60 gold, 60 dust. So 100 gold is about 60 dust. At least you could work out some calculation that's somewhat close to that.
Job's done.
So getting dust in particular is helpful because it's probably the one way you're going to get half of the legendary cards. You just aren't going to get that lucky. They've specifically set it and arranged it so that after opening about 50 to 100 packs, you will get 1 legendary card. I have probably 20 legendary cards, these cards with the dragon on top, that you can only have 1 of in your deck. So I have like 20 of them, so 20 times 100, 2,000 packs need to be opened to get those cards, whereas most of the other things I have at least 1 if not 2 of every other card. I'm struggling to get a foothold here. This is a turn 10 way to start it all over again, I suppose. I want to play this and get rid of it now. Let's try that.
For justice!
Job's done.
So, being behind, if the last game taught us anything, doesn't guarantee a loss. I think just being a good player or a bad player guarantees whether you're going to be a victory or loss. Alright.
All realities, all dimensions are
For justice!
So that just balanced us out there. Now, these cards here weren't put in the deck. They were brought into the deck because of Prince Malkazar here. One Knight in Necrama's card that practically I think every player should consider having.
Reporting for duty.
And what do I want to do here?
Simple fool.
Job done.
Go ahead and take care of all of that. Well, I lost again. Wow. So, 30 minutes of complete losses. Pretty much knew this was how it was going to go. Take this as your warning. Take this as your lesson. Learn from me. Let me waste 1,000 gold, because that's exactly what's going to happen to you too. This is you like walking into a shady pool bar and thinking you're going to win some money pool hustling. Every single person in this tournament is going to be better than you. It's going to be those YouTube streamers. It's going to be Trump. It's going to be Crippen. It's going to be people like that that win and get ranked 1 every month consistently. They're the people that are going to beat you and take your gold and get the rewards. Normal Hearthstone players, we're going to get our butts kicked. Just like that. I don't feel like I did anything even that bad. I think I made a decent deck. And I should have won at least 1 or 2 things. And it didn't even happen. So we get a Whisper of the Old Gods pack, which is kind of interesting that they would give you that pack, and specifically. They may not always be the same packs, but of the packs you want to get, the classic packs for most new players are the right packs to get, because classic is never going to get banned from standard play. So you want a full collection of classic cards before you can get that. And see, if I type in here 10 for 1,000 gold, I could have just bought that 10 packs right there. And that's the better way to do it. In fact, let's just do it. Just as an extra reward to ourselves, I have enough gold to waste there. If you had a classic collection already full, the next thing you might consider doing is getting as many of these packs as possible. Because 50 is the maximum here. I'm not going to get these. These are going to get banned. They're the Grand Tournament cards are the next to get banned. But once they get banned, you can't buy these cards anymore. You'll have to make them with debts, which means they are going to be a lot more expensive. Remember, 1 pack is 100 gold. 1 pack is probably only worth about 60 dust in my rough estimate. And then I would get Old Gods cards only after you've had all the classics and this has been banned and you can't buy the packs anymore, because this is the latest expansion right now. The next expansion, the Mean Streets of Gadgetstan, is available for pre-order on Hearthstone Blizzard's website, but not here at all. Also, certainly get all these adventures if you don't have them. Either use gold or pay money. Blackrock Mountain is about to be banned. We've already lost a couple of them that you can't get. And when you lose them, those cards, again, have to be made through dust. And there's no way to even get the soul adventures. So for me, being able to play... Well, where's the one that was before Blackrock Mountain? Wasn't there one that was before Blackrock Mountain? No, I guess Blackrock Mountain is the oldest one, but it's about to get eliminated, so then you won't be able to play it ever, and that would kind of suck. You wouldn't be able to get the cards or play it. So let's open our one reward pack card here and see what we got for 1,000 gold. So this card, new, just general white rarities cards, normal cards.
Rare.
We get one rare for the mage and one normal card. That's about the worst return you could get. And for me, if I come over here to crafting, it'll tell me that's worth 40 dust. All 5 of those cards that I just got. The 1 rare worth 20, the 4 commons worth another 20. So not even 60 dust. I may have been overshotting, and I only have 55 dust right now, so how did I get that 5 is a good question. So let's open the other packs as just a reward. So again, 1 rare and a bunch of commons. Next one. Here's another rare and then a bunch of commons. And I bet I don't get a single new card here. Because I'm so full of my classic collection that I have probably 2 of all of these cards. So
Legendary.
I actually may not have that.
Golden common.
Now goldens are nice because they can be destroyed for more dust. And I have no interest in having a gold collection of cards until, in theory, I could have a golden version of every single card I would play, which is almost certainly never going to happen. An epic card. There. So I turn all of my golden cards into dust to try to get a more diverse collection, to have more choices. But as you saw when I created the deck, choices can still be very, very limited, just on the simple fact that the game itself may make you play in standard, which limits you severely. They may change cards, they may ban cards in that by inflicting change on us on what feels like an ever-increasing rate. You're constantly put up against having to learn new cards and get new cards, and it just makes Hearthstone even more difficult. And many people have said on my videos when I've talked about this how Hearthstone is just a game that very well may never be satisfactory for new Hearthstone players, which kind of means it's dooming itself to die in just to kowtow to the people who stream it, the Cripper and the Trump, people who get interviewed and talk and have ideas that mean something for the main meta and the tournaments, but it's hard to have players for the tournaments if all the new players can't get anywhere with it. And that's kind of the problem that Hearthstone is constantly creating and not really addressing. So I have 5 rares that are going to give me 100 dust and 38 commons, the extra, that are going to give me 190. So we can disenchant that. And then that leaves us with just a few cards that actually added to the collection, because anything I didn't have ×2 of are the new things. So now I have 2 Starfalls, and over here we now have a golden repentance, which is worth 50 if I disenchant it, and that's what I like to do to get more dust. I'm almost up to 4, and let's see, I should be in crafting mode too. Crafting. I already had 2 of the other repentance, so that wasn't a big deal. And then I either got a second equality or a divine form. I don't know what the other one was, and I hovered over it. But whatever it was, it just gave me a second, or it gave me the first one, which is nice. Over here, we got a second light well, and that'll be helpful. And then we have another golden here, which I can disenchant for 100 dust, and that's helpful. I already had 2 of the normal versions of that. And then we have a second preparation and 1 new neutral card. Now, when choosing, yes, this legendary card. So I did actually get a legendary. So for 1,000 gold, 1 legendary came about, and that's a lot better deal. Again, 1,600 dust to craft a legendary, and you want those, and I'm missing 2 there, and 1 there. That makes 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and almost 30. Well, almost to 30. 30 legendary cards. So if you multiplied 30 times 1,600, that's the amount of dust I need to collect just to get the legendary cards. There are also class legendary cards that I don't have in at least a couple of classes, and non-legendary cards that I don't have. So that's what I'm going through now, is I'm trying to see, with my 495 dust, what is the first card that's a neutral card I could craft, and it's this one, so we will do that.
Answer the call of the light.
And that was a grand tournament card, so I wouldn't have gotten that in the pack anyways, but getting neutral cards in particular is helpful. We could have filtered it out just to classic cards right here and crafted that. But along the lines here, getting the cards that are for a druid, here's 2 more legendary cards I don't have, is not helpful for any of the other classes. So like, I should get this card with dust. Here's another legendary, but it's better to have a full set of neutral cards, because it's feasible that you might make a deck just out of neutral cards or very few class cards, and then that deck would work regardless of what character you're trying to play. Here's another legendary card. Mage, for me, is one of the classes that I played the very least, and because of that, trying to fill in these cards here, these 3 legendary cards, is not anywhere as high of a priority as getting neutral or getting even some of the other classes filled in. That being said, when you open packs, sometimes you get class cards, sometimes you get neutral cards. But dust is your decision, and when it becomes your decision, I would say neutral cards first. There's a lot of planning that's been done here. Unfortunately, actually getting the cards is slow going. There's no real progress that can be made there. I could open another 50 packs potentially and not actually make much more progress than what you just saw of me opening 11 packs. Because I got my legendary now, it would probably be another 50 packs before I got a second legendary. And even if I got a legendary, it might be a legendary I already own, and then if that's the case, disenchanting it would only give me 400 dust instead of 1600 dust needed to make it, to make another one. So this game has a lot of free-to-play elements in here in which it's sneakily draining you of your resources, and you can fall down that dark path of putting real money into the game and spending a lot of money. You could probably pay to win pretty easily. And Tavern Brawl, to get back to that, is a perfect example of that, of trying to pay to win. If you want to have a very similar experience, just go play the arena. The arena works slightly different because it gives you 3 cards to pick from, and those are your random card choices to build a weird arena deck. But you only cost 150, and since it costs 100 gold to purchase one deck, and you're guaranteed one deck in return, even if you lose 3 times on arena, the extra 50 is not actually a bad deal because you have a chance to earn more, and you will get a card and some dust on top of one deck. You're going to get at minimum 3 rewards. Tavern Brawl only gave us 1 reward. So, again, take it as from my example. Don't do what I just did. Don't spend this 1,000 gold. I don't want to actually even encourage Blizzard, the creators of Hearthstone, to ever do this again. I hope it's a huge failure and they say, no, that was dumb. It disenfranchised a lot of players and cost a lot of gold for no reason. That's going to be it for this special episode. As always, I end my episodes asking you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of all my videos because that helps me with YouTube. If you want to support me even further than that, you can go to my main YouTube page. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. You can click that and make a donation. Also on my main YouTube page is a playlist tab where you can find playlists for every game I've ever covered. I've covered a lot of games that aren't Hearthstone, and I have several playlists for the solo adventures and the expansions of Hearthstone, so you can check those out too separately. And then finally, down below in the description box, I have links to all my social media sites, so please follow and friend me on Steam and Battle.net. That's where you can friend me here, and I definitely would like some more friends on Hearthstone in particular in Steam. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and Tumblr. So let me know if there's any other social media site that's free that I should be on. But by following me on Twitter and Facebook and all of that, you'll know exactly when my next videos are available. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.